Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how to make these cute pouches that you can use to store little things. I will also show you step by step of how to make the tiny accessories that you can assemble onto the body. You can also make them into different variations, into different animals, different colors if you like, and the whole body is in one shape, therefore it doesn't really require sewing. The part that requires sewing would be when you assemble the small little part. So it's very quick and easy to make. If you do like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, and also leave some comments and let me know if you enjoy videos like this or making little things like this. So sit back, enjoy the video, and happy crocheting. For today's project, you will be needing some yarn. Depending on what variation you would like to make, you can also use pink one if you want to make it into a rabbit. If you want to make it into a duck, you can use a white one with more like an orangey yellow kind of color for the beak. And today I'll be showing you two variations, the chicken and the bear. So these are the two colors that I'll be using. Totally depend on you. You also need the right size crochet hook. For today I'll be using the 3.5mm crochet hook. And you will need some stitch markers of your choice. I'll be using the plastic eyes for this little pouch, and the size of these eyes are 4mm. Then you'll be needing some needle for the sewing and a yarn needle for weaving in the ends, as well as a pair of sharp scissors for cutting the yarn. If you're ready, let's dive into this project together. To start, we first going to make 7 single crochet in a magic ring. After you make 7 single crochet, then you can pull the ring tight. As usual, I'll be doing the slip stitch method after each round. So we join back to the first stitch of each round and do a slip stitch, pull tight. That is the end of round 1. And to start with the next round, remember to chain 1 first. And remember also the first stitch where you do the slip stitch, that will be the first the start of the round. And now we will be starting with round 2. For round 2, we are going to do 7 increases in round 2. So after you chain 1, then you can start with the first increase. Remember, after you make the first stitch, just mark it so you don't get confused if you're a beginner. And then increase. So that's our first increase, and let's do another one. That's the second increase, and you will just do increases for the rest of the rounds. For round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase as a set, and repeat that for 7 times. As usual, start of each round, after you do the slip stitch, chain 1, and you do the first single crochet and mark it. That would be your first crochet, and then we do an increase. So that is one set, and then you'll repeat that for the rest of the rounds. For round 4, we are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase and 1 single crochet as a set, and repeat that for 7 times. So chain 1, and we start with a single crochet, mark it, and an increase, and a single crochet, and you repeat that set for the rest of the rounds. For round 5, we will be doing 3 single crochet and 1 increase as a set, and repeat that for 7 times. So chain 1 to start and do 3 single crochets. That's the first one. 2, 3, and an increase. And then you will just repeat that again and again for the rest of the round. And then we're going to start with round 6, chain 1. For round 6, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase and 2 single crochets as a set, and repeat that for 7 times. So 1, 2, and an increase, and then 2 more single crochets. So that is 1 set, and you'll repeat that for the rest of the round. Now we're going to start with round 7. For round 7, we are going to do back post single crochet, and to do back post single crochet, instead of going through from the front, we are going to do it from the back. So let's start with chain 1, and then let's start with the first single crochet. So what you do is, here's the back, here's the front, and then you take your needle, take your hook, go through from the back to the front, and then that is the second stitch. You go into the back again, yarn over, wiggle, so then you pull the yarn through at the back, and then yarn over, pull through. That would be your first stitch, and then just mark it quickly, and then let's do a second one. So the second one, as you can see, that is the second stitch. So from the back to the front, and that is the third stitch. You go into the back again, hook the yarn through, and then yarn over and pull through. And another one from the back to the front, into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, and there we go. And another one from the back to the front, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through. So give it a few more practice, and if you're already familiar with it, then just do single crochet, back post, single crochet for round 7. And for the last stitch, you have to squeeze through this tight spot here. So from the back to the front, and then squeeze your hook through, and then pull the yarn through. Oh my goodness, let's do that again. From the back to the front, squeeze, pull the yarn through, and then crochet. That is the end of round 7. Then, as usual, you join back to the first stitch and do a slip stitch join. That is the end of round 7. And now for round 8 to round 11, very simple. You are just going to do 42 single crochets for each round. And remember, beginning of each round, chain 1, and you just do single crochet. And if you forget easily with the first with the first stitch, always remember to just mark it. And so you just do single crochet for this round. So when you finish with round 11, as you can see, the edges is nice and neat, and you have a very nice flat base. And also remember, just pull the magic ring tighter here. This is also why we do the back post stitch, so then the edges actually stand up nicely. This is something that I made before, and as you can see, it looks very, very different. But if you do like the rounder edge, you can also do it. Then you just do it on the outside the outside loop of the stitch. And now after round 11, let's continue with round 12. For round 12, what we're going to do is we are going to leave gap in between so you can actually sew the zipper in. So we're going to do halfway of round 12 only. So we're only going to do 21 single crochet for round 12. As usual, chain 1 to start, and then make your first crochet, mark it, and then you do 20 more. So that's 1, 2, 3. So after 21 stitches, here might be a little bit complicated, but just follow me. So after the 21 stitch, then you put a marker here again. The reason why is because we are actually going to do another half round, but I don't want to turn using the turning method on to how can I explain this? I don't want to turn and then do single crochet around back here. The reason for that is if you do that, the stitches don't actually look neat. Okay, let me just show it. So if you chain one and you turn and you crochet back, I'm just going to do a few crochets. If you crochet backwards, as you can see, this I don't want this effect. I don't want the back side to turn around to the front and then create this bulgeness here. Therefore, after you do the 21st stitch, you put a marker here, and now to make the next half round the same stitch facing outwards, what you do is you loop the yarn, leave about a little bit longer than the round here. So you basically take your yarn and then loop back this side, and then remove the marker from the first stitch, insert your hook back here, and what we're going to do, we're actually going to use this yarn and then do single crochets backwards. So after you loop it backwards, after you loop it backwards, you just hook the yarn through like this and just adjust the yarn a little bit. So you leave a yarn on the inside of this edge. After you hook the yarn through the first stitch, chain one again, and then you do single crochet for another 21 times back here. Okay, so after the first one, remember, just hide this yarn at the back when you do single crochet. So then, as you can see, you're hiding the yarn and just do a normal single crochet. And also just pull it a little bit so it's not too tight. So you do another 21 single crochet back to this marker here. So on the 21st stitch, what you do is insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then hook the last loop back on the hook, hook again, sorry, and then you yarn over and pull through all 3 loops here to end to connect with this stitch here. And that is the end of round 13. So remember, round 12 we only do 21 single crochet across halfway, and then you don't turn your work and crochet backwards. What you do is, remember, you take the yarn, go back to the first stitch, hook it through, and then you do single crochet across, and then you just lastly you do the 3 hoop join together here. And for round 13, after you do the single crochets 21, then you are going to do 21 chains to finish round 13. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, slip join, hold tight. And that is the end of round 13. Depending on how big you make your base, you also kind of need to figure out how long the zipper is that you are using, and also the size of yarn that you're using. Normally with the stitch count, with bigger hook size and bigger yarn, you will need longer zippers. Yeah. For this one, this is a, hang on, this is a 4-inch length zipper, and it fits perfectly into this little gap here. So when it comes to round 13 and round 12 and round 13, you might need to do some adjustments with the stitch count according to the size of the opening that you want, and also the size of the zipper that you use. Okay, and now we are done with round 13. The reason why I do 2 rounds instead of just 1 for the zip is because I made one before, and I made only 1 round for the zip, for the gap for the zip. As you can see, the shape is, I don't know how to say, slouching, crouching forward, and also it doesn't look even. So with this method, the zipper will actually go in better with a bigger gap, and then you can see it doesn't really lean forward. But again, depending on the size of the zipper that you use, you can actually decide how many rounds you want for the gap of the zip. Okay, and now after we finish round 13, we are going to continue with round 14 to 17. From here on now is more simpler. For round 14 to round 17, you are just going to do 42 single crochets all the way. And so remember, beginning of each round, chain 1, and you just do single crochets. After the 21st stitch, you are meeting here with the chain, so do the back loop only for the chain, and you again just do single crochets on the back loop of the chain only. Okay. last stitch, 42, and then join back to the first stitch and do a slip stitch. Pull tight. But now it might see that it's not aligning, but after you sew in the zip, it will make a very nice even shape. You can choose to sew in the zip now, or you can do a few more rounds and sew in the zip now. So I'm going to do a few more rounds and sew in the zips. So that was round 14, and we are on round 15. Chain 1, and you just do 42 single crochets for round 15. So I will see you after you finish round 17. After the 17th round, as you can see, it's already starting to take shape. Now let's do some sewing. To be honest with you, I don't like sewing. I'm not very good at sewing, so I'm just going to do a very basic sew for this one. If you know how to sew and you can do it much better than I do, please go ahead and do it. So I'm just going to show you a very quick way just to show you how it looks with the zipper on. And then cut the thread so it looks nice and neat. And also this little edge here, just cut. So just make it neat the way you want it. And there is the zipper that it's on. Very simple, very easy. And now let's finish with the basic shape. Now we are on round 18. We are going to start deducting or shrinking the round. For round 18, we are going to do 5 single crochet and 1 decrease, and we will do that for 6 times. Let's continue. So to start, chain 1, and you do your first stitch, just mark it. So that's 1, and we're going to do 5. So 1, 2, So after 5 single crochet, we are going to do a decrease. So to do a decrease, again, insert your hook into the front loop of the next one, and then the front loop of the one after that. Yarn over, through, and that's how you do a decrease. So we will do 5 single crochet and 1 decrease as a set. Repeat that for 6 times. For round 19, you will do 36 single crochets. So after chain 1, make your first stitch, and then you mark it. And so you will do 36 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And round 20, very simple. You are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, and 2 single crochet as a set, and you repeat that for 6 times. So start of each round, chain 1, first crochet, mark, and second single crochet, and you will do a decrease, and then 2 more single crochets, another 2, and you repeat that for the rest of the rounds. And for round 21, we are going to do 3 single crochet and 1 decrease as a set, and repeat that for 6 times. So start, chain 1, first crochet, mark, and 2, 3, and do a decrease, that's 1 set, and you just repeat that for the rest of the rounds. And for round 22, you will do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and 1 single crochet as a set, and repeat that for 6 times. Chain 1, 1 single crochet, place a marker, and a decrease, and then 1 single crochet, and that is 1 set, and you'll repeat that for the rest of the round. And for the final round, round 23, you will just do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease as a set, and repeat that for 6 times. It does get a little bit tight and small here, so you just again have to, maneuver your way around it. And so chain 1, that's 1 single crochet, and then a decrease. Do a slip stitch, and that's end of round 23. Well, that is the end of the pattern. So take out some yarn and then cut. Now we're just going to close this little hole here. take out your yarn needle, and then remember to close. What we do is we skip one, go into the outer loop of the next stitch. Skip one into the outer loop, skip one into the outer loop, skip one, and skip one, and skip one, and two out. After you've done that, just pull tight. So flip it inside out, and then you just hide the yarn. Now we finish with the basic shape. As you can see, it's pretty simple to make and it's all in one go. I sew this zip a little bit skew, excuse me for that. But when you do it, please don't do the same mistake as I do. So remember to align the zip better than me. Yes, and you can also change this into different variation if you want. Like this, it looks like a mouse. So you can also make it look like, you know, a little like Pac-Man if you want to. Yeah. Anywho, so we are making a little chicken pouch today. So I will show you how to do the egg and also where to put the eyes and sew on the little arms. To make the little arms, we are first going to do 8 single crochet in a magic ring. That's 1, 2, slip stitch, pull tight, and that's round 1. Well, the little arm is very simple. From round 1 to round 4, if you like it longer, you can make it 5. You can also check like how or where do you want the arm, because I wanted to hold a little egg in the middle. So I would say maybe 5. Let's make it 5. So from round 1 to round 5, just do single crochets. So we start with 8 single crochet in the magic ring. So you just do 8 single crochet for each round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And after you finish the final round, just go back to the first stitch, do a slip stitch, and pull tight. That is the little arm. You can also check more or less. If you think it's too short, then you just make it a little bit longer. And if you think it's too skinny, you can also increase the stitch count. I wouldn't suggest increasing the stitch count here on the magic ring, because as you can see, the hole can actually look quite big, and if you don't like that, then rather not do that. But you can also increase the stitch count here. I would say maybe on round 3 or round 4, so it looks a little bit chubbier if you want to. But let me check. So I want the arms to be about here. Yeah, so 5 rounds is fine. And after you've done that, just leave decent length, so that is for sewing to the body plate. So you make 2 of this and then you put it aside. Now we are going to do the little egg hat that is going to go onto the top of the little chicken's head. The pattern is quite messy because I do like unevenly shaped egg looking shape, egg whites. Yeah. So we're going to start with the egg whites. First we do 7 single crochet in a magic ring. And then for round 2 we are going to do 7 increases in double crochets. So to start, after you do the slip stitch, you chain 2 for double crochets. So we are going to do 7 double crochet increase. Then that is 1. So to do a double crochet, loop 1 first, then you insert the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, loop, and then the other 2 loop. Okay, and let's do that again. So first 2 loop and second 2 loop. Yarn over, loop, insert through, yarn over, 2 loop and 2 loop. And so you do double crochet increases for the rest of the round. After you've finished with that, then for double crochet slip stitch, just count the first 2 chain, and then that third one here would be your first stitch of the round, because we chained 2, remember, so that would be the first stitch of the round, and you do a slip stitch join. And now we are going to do the irregular pattern. So it's going to consist of single crochets, double crochets, half double crochet, and we are also going to do a treble crochet, which I will also show you how to do that. Let's start with the first stitch. So we are actually going to do 2 different kinds of crochet in 1 stitch. So it can get a little bit confusing, but if you do know what you're doing with crochet and you do like to create different patterns than mine, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so in the first stitch, we are going to do a single crochet and a half double crochet. So to do a single crochet to start, chain 1, and we do a single crochet first, and in the same stitch we do a half double crochet. So to do a half double crochet, you wrap your yarn once and then insert back into the same stitch, yarn over, and then pull through the 3 loops. That is a half double crochet. And then in the next stitch we are going to do a double crochet, and a treble crochet. So for a treble you have to yarn over twice, and then insert the hook back into the same stitch, yarn over, and go through the first 2 loops on your hook. Then you'll have 3, and then yarn over, and then into the next 2, and yarn over and pull through. That is a treble crochet. Then in the next stitch we also going to do a treble crochet. So first 2, second 2, and last 2. Then after that, in the same stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. But as you can see, it's getting from short to long, and then I wanted to go like, short again. So I'm going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, and then a double crochet again in the same stitch. And then for the next stitch, we are going to do 2 trebles. So that's the first one. Remember, first 2, second 2, and last. Then another one. First 2. Oh, second 2. And last. And then in the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet and a half double crochet. So a double crochet first, and then a half double crochet. As you can see, like some are long and some are short, and yes. And then we're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. That's 1 and 2. And then the next stitch, 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Again, you can also mix and match different stitches just to create that irregular look of egg whites running down. You don't have to follow exactly, but if you do want to save you the trouble, go for it. And then the next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet. And so a half double crochet first and a double crochet in the same stitch. Then the next stitch we're going to do 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet. So 1 half double crochet and a single crochet. And then the next stitch, a double crochet and 1 treble. So 1 double crochet and 1 treble. You can keep your stitches loose, so it's easier to do the double crochet and the trebles, and also you don't want it too tight because you want that loose feeling of like a runny egg white. Yeah. And then the next stitch we are going to do 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. So 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. And then we have 1, 2, 3 left. So the next one we're going to do a double crochet and 1 treble. So 1 double crochet and 1 treble. Oh my goodness. 1 treble crochet. First 2, second 2, and then last 2. And then this next one we're going to do a treble crochet and then a double crochet, and then in the last stitch we're just going to do a half double crochet, and a single crochet, then slip stitch back to the first stitch, and that is the little egg white. And after you've done that, just leave a little, I wouldn't say leave a long tail because I don't really need it to sew. So what we do is, after you do the slip stitch, just do another chain, leave a little tail cut, and then you pull tight. So you basically put a knot on it so it doesn't open. And that is the little egg white. Now for the egg yolk, we are going to start with 7 single crochet in a magic ring. For round 2, we are going to do 7 increases. Chain 1, and then you do increase, after you do 2 rounds, you can just check the size. If you like it bigger, you can also continue with the increase, but I would say 2 rounds would be fine for this size. And then you just sew it on, and that is the little egg head. To make the smaller egg so then the little chicken can hold in the middle, we are first going to start it with 8 single crochets in a magic ring. For round 2, we are going to do increases but in different crochets. So what we're going to do is, you can mix and match, but for each stitch we're going to do 2 stitches, but you can mix 2 stitches of different types. So you can mix single crochet and a double crochet together in one stitch, and then the next stitch you can do a triple crochet and a half double crochet in the next stitch, so on and so forth. So depending on the shape that you like, you can always just mix them up. For beginners, if you are not familiar with slip stitch yet, you can also start your first stitch with the single crochet. It will be much easier for you to recognize the first stitch, but always use your marker. That will also be much easier. To start with the second round, chain 1, and then we do 2 crochets in the first stitch. So that's the first one. And then, so that's a single crochet, and I'm going to do a half double crochet with it into the same stitch. And then for the next stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet and another double crochet. So as you can see, it's getting longer, but now I wanted to, you know, come down a little bit. Then I will do a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the same stitch. And the next stitch, I will do a single crochet and then a double crochet together with it. And the next stitch, I'm going to do a treble crochet, and a double crochet in the same stitch. Then the next stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet, and a single crochet. So as you can see, the little egg shape is starting to take place, and we only have 2 stitches left. Then you can do a half double crochet and then a single crochet in the same stitch, and the last stitch we're just going to do a double crochet and a double crochet. And once you are done with that, again, you just join back to the first stitch to close this round. Tight, and that is the smaller sized egg. Remember, you can always just change the pattern if you like, depending on the shape that you like. You can also do it regularly. That makes it look like little flowers if you want. I just like, you know, like it to look a little bit different. Yeah. And once you are done with it, just pull the magic ring tight. And you can also just compare it a little bit to see where and more or less how big is it, that it's not going to cover up the face later when we sew it. And then you just make an egg yolk with the Once you're done with this, we are just going to quickly make a tiny little egg yolk that can go onto the smaller egg. Very simple. You start with a magic ring with 6 single crochets in the magic ring. Well, you can, depending on the size, if you like it like this, then you can just leave it as one, just do one round. I think 1 round is big enough for this egg. So after you do 1 round, then just after you do the slip stitch, pull it tight and just do a chain but pull the yarn through longer, so that is going to be used for sewing later. Once you're done with that, just pull everything tight so it's nice and dense. Then that would be the little egg yolk that will go on. We will sew everything later when we put all the parts together, so you can leave that, put that aside for now. Okay. Now we're going to do the little mouth for the little chicken. We start with 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 chains. Very, very tiny mouth. And then we insert our hook into the second chain and do a single crochet. And the next one, we are going to do a half double crochet. And in the last one, we are going to do 3 single crochets, so then it goes all the way around, and then we just do the same on the other side. So we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1, 2. As you're on the 3rd stitch, as you'll see that the chain is already starting to turn, and just pinch this yarn tight and do the 3rd one. Here you need to be a little bit careful. We already used this one, so this would be your next chain. And then here you can also just crochet the yarn in, so then it doesn't get loose. Then we're going to do a half double crochet after you do the 3 stitches, half double crochet, and then a single crochet in the next one, and another single crochet into the same chain. Once you've done that, just join back to the 1st stitch. Join back to the 1st stitch and do a slip stitch. That is the little mouth. And to lock the yarn tight, you just do a chain, but don't cut here. Pull it a little bit longer for sewing later, and then cut. And remember, once you do that, just pull everything tight and adjust it a little bit. So that is the little chicken beak, chicken, the mouth, yeah, that would go here. Cool. And again, put that aside. We will assemble them once we're done with everything. To make the ears for the little bear, we start with 6 single crochets in a magic ring. Once you do 6 single crochets, then you can close the loop. With the ears, you don't need to join back to the 1st stitch. All you have to do is chain 1 and then turn your work. Then we're going to do 6 single crochets back, and then and then you will do that one more time. The chain 1, turn your work, and 6 single crochet again. And that is the little ear. And after you do the last stitch, just do another chain, pull through, just leave some yarn so you can use it to sew it onto the main body. Now let's make a little chef hat for our little bear chef. To make the chef hat, we start with 7 single crochet in a magic ring. So 1, 2. For round 2, we are just going to do 7 increases with single crochets. Chain 1 to start, make your first single crochet and mark it, and we do an increase, and you will just do increase for the rest of the round. And then for round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase as a set, and repeat that for 7 times. Chain 1 to start, make your first crochet, mark it, and then increase. And that's a set. You will repeat that for the rest of the round. For round 4, we are going to add the little shapes in for the chef hat. The pattern for round 4 would be 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet increase, and another double crochet as a set, and you repeat that for 7 times. Let's start. Chain 1, the first stitch is a single crochet, and then you do a double crochet increase in the next stitch. That's a double crochet increase, and then another double crochet in the next stitch. That is 1 set. And then you start over with a single crochet again, and then a double crochet increase, and another double crochet in the next stitch after you do the increase. That is the second set, and you will repeat that set for the rest of the round. For round 5, we are going to be doing a type of stitch that's called single crochet 3 together stitch. Basically, it's like decreasing a stitch, but usually with decrease we're putting 2 stitches and joining them into 1. But with this one, you're joining 3 stitches into 1. To do that is very simple, just follow me. Let's start with round 5. After you do the slip stitch, chain 1, and then go back into the same stitch as your first stitch, and you do a single crochet first. And now we're going to join this. As you can see, it's pretty clear that the 3 higher curve here, we're going to join these 3 as one stitch. To do that, with single crochet, you insert your hook through the first stitch, hook the yarn through, leave the yarn on your hook, so now we have 2 loops, and then immediately into the next stitch, hook the yarn through, now you have 3 loops, and then straight ahead go into the third stitch, hook the yarn through, now you have 4 loops, and to join them just hook the yarn through all 4 loops, then you join 3 stitches together. And so for round 5, the set would be 1 single crochet and the 3 stitches together, that together as one set, and you repeat that for 7 times. Now let's do another set just to be clear. So the next set start with a single crochet, and then we're joining 3 of these stitches together. So insert your hook through the first stitch, pull the yarn through, leave it on your hook, into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, leave the yarn on your hook, and then the third stitch, pull the yarn through, and then yarn over, hook, and pull through all 4 of them. Is as simple as that, and you will just repeat that set for the rest of the round. And once you are done with the last 3 stitches together, crochet, just join back to the first stitch of the round and do a slip stitch, pull tight. Now it might look a little bit ugly, but all you need to do is just push. For the next 2 rounds, for round 6 and round 7, very simple, you are just going to do single crochets for 2 rounds. So chain 1 to start, and then for round 6 and 7, it would just be 14 single crochets. 1, 2, do another chain to lock, pull the yarn a little bit longer, leave a little longer tail, and that again is going to be used for sewing. Then now just pull everything tight. As you can see, the magic ring wasn't closed very tightly. That's why I don't always cut the tail of the magic ring first, because in the end you can just pull it tighter to close the little. And there is the little shift hat that will go over one ear onto the little bag. You can also put it in the middle if you want to. Yes. And so put it aside with your bear. Leave it for now. Now let's make a little pen for our little bear ship. I'm going to use the black yarn for the pen, but if you want different colors, you can always just change it. To make the little pen, we are going to first start with 6 single crochet in a magic ring. And for round 2, we are just going to do 6 increases. To start, remember, after you do the slip stitch, chain 1 and make your first stitch. Just mark it quickly. and then you do an increase, and you will just do increase for the rest of the round. For round 4, the pattern is 2 single crochets and 1 increase as a set, and repeat that for 6 times. Chain 1 to start, do the first stitch, place your marker, and then another stitch, so 2 single crochets and 1 increase. That is one set, and you'll just repeat that for the rest of the round. Once you're done with round 4, we're going to do round 5. Round 5 is much simpler. You are just going to do 24 single crochets for round 5. So remember, after you do the first chain, and then you start crocheting. So you will just do 24 single crochet for round 5. Once you're done with round 5, after you do the slip stitch, then just immediately do 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you want it to be a little bit longer, you can add a chain or 2, but this should be in the length should be fine. And then from the second, sorry, the black yarn doesn't show very clearly. From the second stitch, you do a single crochet, and then you just do 1, 2, 3 more single crochets back to here, and then 2, 3, 4. After the 4th single crochet, then join back to the first stitch and do a slip stitch. Then that is the little handle for the little pen. And again, after you do the slip stitch, just do a chain, leave the yarn with the long tail, cut, and then pull the yarn tight. Then that is your little pen. It will curl up because it's very soft, but we are going to sew it onto the body, then it will look normal. Okay, it will look normal, yeah. And that is how you make a little mini pen. To make the fish is very simple. Take the yarn, and we are first going to make 6 chains. So remember, that's not the first one. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. After you make 6 chains, then we again always start from the second chain. So in the second chain you will make a single crochet, and then in the next chain we are going to do a half double crochet, and then in the next chain we are going to do a double crochet, and then because we want it like a little curve, and then after the double crochet just do a half double crochet. Sorry, my yarn is splitting. And then at the last stitch we will do 3 single crochet in the last stitch, so then the chain is going to turn around. So that's 1 single crochet. Sorry, my yarn is splitting. 2 single crochet and 3 single crochet. And then as you can see, you're already turning around. Now we're just going to do the other half of the fish. Remember, this chain has already been used, so that will be the next chain. And then the next chain we are going to do a half double crochet. Sorry, just hide the yarn as you make the crochet. Then we do a half double crochet, and then a double crochet in the next stitch or chain. And then in the next stitch we are just going to do a half double crochet, oh my goodness. And then in the last stitch just do 2 single crochet in the last stitch. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. As you can see, the little fish shape is already starting to take place. And then once you've done that, just join back to the start of the round, do a slip stitch, then you get a little shape like this. Now we're going to make the little tail. Simple. We're just going to do, from after you do the slip stitch, just chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And after you've done that, just slip stitch back to the first stitch. There will be one half of the tail, and then the other side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you join back to the first stitch. Sorry, my yarn is getting short. And then do a slip stitch, pull tight. And that is your little fish. Okay, once you're done with all the little things, now it's time to do the assembling of these little parts. Let's start with the arms first. Now take your little chicken pouch, and we are just going to do the little arms onto the body first. You can check, see how you like it, and normally place the things in the middle, or place the things that you want to go in the middle first before you sew the arms up, so then the things will be more precisely in the middle. Or you can do stitch count and see how long is the arm, and then you just sew the arms up. But let's just sew these egg parts together so there's no so many little strings that's hanging around. Once you pull it tight, then it's already on. Then you just adjust it to where you want it, and then you use this piece and just sew it tightly onto the egg white. Once you secure everything, just cut the yarn. And that is the little hat that will go over our little chicken. And then now let's sew in the arms first. So 2 from the top, 2 from the bottom, hang on, 2 from the bottom and 3 in. Then I will sew my arm in here. And there is the little one arm that is attached. And then the egg is going to be here. Let's do the other arm first. And then the 2 little arms are up. Once you've done that little arm, then you can sew the little egg onto the little arms like the chicken is holding it. And there you get a little chicken holding the little egg. Okay, now we need to insert the eyes. Here you need to use the little hand as your indication. It will be easier. I would say here. So you basically from the arm, and then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you insert the eyes in. If you like it more wider parts, then you can just do a stitch to the side, and then here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you insert the eye. If you like it wider, again you can, and then you place the little mouth in to see if this is cute. I don't like this so much. I do like the eyes to be more wider apart. Then I am just going to move it to a stitch next to it. Okay, and then we're just going to move this one as well to the stitch next to it. And then you place the little mouth on to see. This is better. I think this is better. Yeah. And now after the eyes are in, then you use this plastic cap like this, and you press it. You have to just squeeze it until you hear a click. And the same on the other side. You just press it until you hear a click. It may be difficult for you if you have long nails, but depending on also what type of eyes you use. There we go, a click, and then the eyes are in. And now we're just going to put the little mouth in, then the face of the chicken is done. Okay, and so now let's do the little egg quickly. Just check where you would like the egg to be, and if you have a pen, just pen it down so it's easier for you to sew the hat in. Once everything is done, you just check if everything is secure, everything is tight. The interesting thing here is that, as you can see, I did sew the egg a little bit more to the side instead of in the center. However, like Barbara said, we don't make mistakes, we make happy little accidents. Because of this yellow that is more outstanding, the orangey yellow for the beak, for the egg yolk, I don't want everything to be in the center, because then it kind of look, how can I put it this way, like a little bit dull. Yeah, I like things that's more irregular, that makes it more natural. And then this happy little accident happened, that just so happened that they're not so aligned with each other. It breaks that oranginess a little bit, and it'll look cute because it's like holding it on the side. And once you put your headphone in or headphone case, you can also use it for other small little things. And if your your earphone case is slightly bigger, it will also fit into it. And once you close it, it's a nice firm little chicken pouch for your earbuds. Now let's assemble the bear pouch. The bear, I wouldn't say more complicated, but there's just some more sewing because you also need to sew in the little nose and the little mouth. Then you also have to just place the work first before you sew everything on, because otherwise if you have to remove everything, it's a little bit painful. Yeah. And then because the pen size is bigger than the egg, I am going to sew the hands a little bit more to the edge here. So instead of 3 stitches from the side, I'm going to do 2 stitches in. Okay, so let's start. Okay, and once you sew on the arms, then you can check where do you want the pen to be. But let's sew the little fish onto the pen first. You can cut here. Now let's sew the pen into the middle between the arms of the bear. Here, as you can see, where we fasten off, this little piece here is sticking out. I don't like that, so just pull it inwards. Okay, and now let's just sew it on. And once you secure it, just adjust your little fish, adjust the little pen, make sure that everything is nice, and there is where you place it. Now let's do the little eyes first. I want the eyes to be about here. There are the eyes placed. Now let's do the little mouth and the nose quickly. Let's find the center between the eyes. So the eyes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apart. So the middle would be here on this stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So the middle would be here. once you're done with the face and you're happy with it, again, there's many different ways to create the little face. If you do have any other better way, you are more than welcome to use it. And then let's secure the eyes. For the ears, you can first place onto the bear to see where more or less you will like it, like higher up or lower. After you find the center of the ear, then it will be easier for you to sew in the sides of the ears. And also remember, the ears will be curved like that. Therefore, the edge should be a little bit to the front of the center, as you can see here. So here's where the center is, and the edge would be, I would say, a stitch more to the front. Okay, and also you wanted to have a little curve, then also sew it more to the, like this. Just make sure that you sew it so then the ear curves like this. It will look better. And after you do the one ear, just remember to do that same for the other side. Just make sure that the ears are on the same height, that you don't make one higher than the other or lower than that. Okay, once both ears are up, then you can decide where do you want to put the little hat. You can put it here in the middle, you can put it here on the ear. Like this is cute. You can also just cover the one ear so it hangs out on the side here. Yeah, I think this looks cute. Too much on the side? So it's up to you of where you would like to place it. Okay, I like it on the ear, so I'm going to just sew it covering the ear. Once the little hat is up, then the little bear pouch is done. This, I mainly designed it to store earphone cases, earpod, or whatever you want to call it. You can also use it to store little things that you like, little stones or crystal stones or little buttons that you use that you need for other crochet projects. So anything that you want. You can also make it into different variations. This variation, I made the chicken and the bear, so it's like they're making breakfast together. But you can also use other colors and make it into different animals. I like to share the basic patterns for creating little things like this, and you are also more than welcome to test it out and make adjustments if you like. Don't forget to give me some comments if you enjoy this video, and if you've tried it, and then what do you use it for. You can also share your thoughts on this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I really need it. This channel is still very new. As you can see, I only have 2 subscribers. Um, but I would love to share more of my work with you guys, or the people who enjoy crocheting as much as I do. So thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time with me. Enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will see you next time in my next video. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.